Hi everyone, this is Sky, and I just wanted to come on today and do a quick channeling of Jupiter retrograde, as this transit and energy is not what I expected it to be and has really surprised me, and been something that was much more difficult to work with than I anticipated it to be. I, of course, am Scorpio, and I feel that all the fixed signs, and perhaps even the rest of the zodiac, are feeling this energy quite strongly. We do have Saturn and Pluto going retrograde this month as well. Saturn just went retrograde, and Mercury just finished going retrograde, and it's still in its shadow until May 3rd, but it is direct, so we should start to function a little bit better. But I just felt that I needed to come on and channel a little bit about this energy, and it's going to be a very unedited video. I might have some pauses. I'm not really trying to perform or create something that's necessarily that seamless, because I've really had to pull back myself. Like, my energy has really been sapped, and I feel very different, and almost like a Saturn and Scorpio type of energy. It's funny because obviously Jupiter is an antithetical energy to Saturn, but perhaps when it's retrograde, it almost gains a type of Saturnian quality, because a retrograde energy is the opposite type of energy, backward energy, of the planet which is going retrograde. So I suppose that would almost turn Jupiter into a Saturnian type of energy. It's not easy to experience old problems right now. I do feel that this is a heavy past energy, and it's really kind of difficult for me to say that because I don't feel particularly myself activated by the past. I feel like very connected to the future, moving forward, but it's strange how it's come in. It's almost hard to put my finger on. It's very sharp. It's very different than, like, for example, if you've been through that difficult breakup or that difficult experience and you're like longing for the past. It's not really a longing type of energy. It's like all of the unrecognized subtleties of the past, which didn't quite get direction, or didn't quite get the attention it needed, almost like a child that doesn't get the attention that it needs, come up and become very prevalent right now. So things which weren't confronted, or things which didn't get the full spotlight, like ignored things of the past, I feel become very prevalent right now. I do feel this is sometimes a worst case type of scenario energy too. Jupiter retrograde in Scorpio, especially if you have something at the degrees at which it is retrograding. For me, I have my moon there in Scorpio, right where Jupiter is doing its retrograde right now. And it has truly felt like a complete change in life. And I do feel that it is for the best. I feel that it really gives us something incredible in the future. But honestly, it's a matter of surviving this time. I feel that this is like a survival instinct type of transit, and I feel that not everyone can even quite make it to the other side of this energy. And I feel that we also have to take it step back, take many steps backward. This is such an expansive backward energy. Of course, retrograde motion is backward motion, and for Jupiter to do that, it's like the biggest planet, the heaviest, most expansive energy. Of course, it naturally rules Sagittarius, and Scorpio and Sagittarius. They're interesting. They really like each other. They both have like qualities that are very admired, but they are not harmonious energies. So Jupiter being in Scorpio in and of itself, like even in direct motion, it doesn't truly like it very much, because with Jupiter being at home in Sag, for it to be in Scorpio, like, it's about to be back in Sag. Like, it's going quick. Jupiter is one of the fastest. It's, to be so big, it moves so much quicker than the other outer planets who are smaller than it. So it's like this gigantic energy just like slinging around the solar system. And it's about to be back in Sag, so I feel that it starts to move faster actually at this part of its orbit, because it's like, I'm almost at the end of the race. Let me give me a last little burst of energy, and I'll be back in Sag, and I'll be so happy. Jupiter absolutely loves to be in Sag, favorite part of its 12-year cycle. So for it to go retrograde in Scorpio, it feels like, to me, what the image that I get is like a runner running a marathon and getting like close to the finish line and dying of heart attack right before they reach the finish line. To me, Jupiter feels to be so upset that it gets pulled backwards in a Scorpio retrograde cycle that it almost feels as if it's died. So I feel that humanity also gets this as an illness almost, or as things which have not been finished. Like, you have to see finish lines in new ways now. You have to see how's that coming through. So there's a strong message coming through here. You have to reach the finish lines that you couldn't in the past, because Scorpio is a past energy. All the water signs deal with time, and the water, like the liquidity of time, I want to say. Obviously, we know that time is not linear, although I feel it actually with Saturn in Capricorn right now and this Capricorn stellium that we've had, I feel it to be more linear than usual. But for this Jupiter retrograde, it makes time almost torn. I do feel a tear in the reality spectrum coming in as we're speaking right now. And I feel that, for example, like illnesses or like anxiety disorders or cycles of paranoia, I hear specifically like agoraphobia, things like that. I feel that if they've been gotten over, you've gotten past it, I feel that it can reemerge right now. But I do feel that you learn how to actually cross the finish line with it now and like get past it and heal by the time it goes direct in July. So it's April 18th to the day that I'm filming this video. And we have, that would be May, June, 3 months and 7 days. 8 days, something like that. I'm not good at math, I'm not here to do math. We have 3 months and we'll call it a week to figure out what went wrong in the past and to not necessarily need validation from the people who are around. The people don't really matter. Like the people that were in the past or the vehicles by which things transpired are not so important. Although I feel that for some people, only about 30% of people, really, this is the minority of people, there are apologies to be made. But if you've tried to do it and it's gotten a bad response, like don't do it. It's not needed anymore. Unless you can like find the holy grail of it, or unless you can find the crux of this issue, which you never discovered before. And it's like you're a new person, you've transcended, then it's okay to like get back in touch with people of the past or with people where things went wrong. But if you haven't, like, don't even darken that door. It's about the click within you. And it's also about grandiosity too, with Jupiter retrograde, because Jupiter is the most like lavish energy. It's Neptune is technically the higher octave of Venus, but it's a more indulgent version of Venus, basically ruling gambling, adventures, academic progress, traveling, philosophy, all these really high-minded, like purposeful things, right? Jupiter's very much a purpose planet. So it's very natural, I think, during this time to also really be retrograde with what your purpose is. What is my purpose? What do I want to be? And I do feel that this is very connected to the health problems. It's very hard to do something which you don't have purpose for right now. As I feel the other thing about Jupiter retrograde is it takes away the silver lining. I feel Jupiter to naturally be a silver lining type of energy, and when it goes retrograde, you have to deal with things in their raw formats. Be careful of poisons, be careful of things which are strong or potent. So like prescriptions, don't, if you've been on it for a long time, beware if you've been on like a prescription for a long time, don't go cold turkey right now. Any kind of substances, because this is the Scorpio aspect of the Jupiter retrograde. It's, for example, if you overdose on something, it's very hard to be lucky and survive. I'm just going to put it out there. It's because it's like the luck. There's not much luck right now. And this is during any Jupiter retrograde. Whenever Jupiter is retrograde, it really pulls back the entire humanity of luck. So we have to do things right. We have to do things well, and we have to be prepared and calibrated as much as we can be. If you come into this transit uncalibrated, or like when it went retrograde, like back in March, like it hit you and you're like, oh my God, I'm not calibrated. You have to pull back a little bit during this time. It's as simple as that. You have to check back in with your cells. I feel it's imperative to heal the cells right now, like brain cells, body cells. Vitamins, I feel, are very important. Minerals. It feels like there are strange deficiencies going about. This could do with the food source. Jupiter is also food in a way as well. Venus is mainly food. But there is a food component to Jupiter, especially like indulgent types of food. So expensive foods, indulgent foods, and unnecessary food as well, things which you eat which aren't for nutrition. Watch out for those things. It feels like they're very poisonous right now. Also, it feels, and sorry if this feels disorganized, you guys, I've not outlined anything, I've not written anything down, I'm just doing a complete unedited channeling. I feel that it's also a time of psychic attack. I don't really believe in psychic attack, honestly. I don't believe that somebody can curse somebody or hex somebody, although as I've gone into this transit, I'm starting to rethink this, as I do feel a bit, I feel that some people have really attracted the negative intentions of others, and I feel that almost everybody is dealing with this in some way. It's a karmic turnover period, so even if you've not been like psychically attacked, or do we want to say like cursed or something, I do feel that people are very mad, very angry at each other, and they're like pushing that onto their enemies, or pushing it onto who they think is the problem, when that's more of an ego thing and not actually the truth. So in this way, it's good to apologize, but sometimes, stirring up the can of worms again, reopening the Pandora's box, like, can you handle that blinding energy? it's more important to detach and to find what it is that you like, and to focus on your body. If your health is good right now, you're probably good. Like, I do feel that with Jupiter retrograde, this shows itself most clearly in how you're operating, how your health is, how your strength is. And yeah, I think that it's actually not that hard when I'm getting into the energy, when I'm feeling it more potently. It's not that hard for people to have a bad feeling about somebody. So, like, for example, you hate somebody, or somebody did something bad to you and you're very vengeful, you feel very betrayed. It's not hard for someone to take that energy and stick it to somebody like a magnet. Or I feel like vessels. I feel like many people are vessels right now for someone to like um basically pull that black energy out of themselves and like tag you're it and then run away and like never have to really deal with it again, but then other people get stuck with it. Watch out for people who do this. Are you talking every day to somebody who is very upset with things, very upset at the world, very mad about people or brands or experiences? Are they tagging you with that energy? Are they running off feeling more healed, more healthy, and it's like you now have their problems? It feels like there's this symbiotic contagion, honestly. And that's the other thing, like illnesses, it's such like a what keep good hygiene, keep your immune system high, you know, have the blood work, have the hormone test, have the testing done. I feel that it's an okay time for that, although don't be too swayed by the results either. It's almost more of like the self-loving energy of, you know, checking up on yourself. I do feel that people can get false negatives or false positives right now. So for like pregnancy or tests, it's almost hard to trust the results. But that's not going to be for everybody. That's going to be more of a rare thing. Like, you're really going to have to be being hit by this in like a Neptune type of way, I feel, to get blurred lines in that way. But for some, this is possible. What else am I feeling? It is a tower type of energy for sure in the tarot. I did pull 3 cards just to have in front of me to be thinking as I was doing this channeling, and I got Ace of Pentacles, 10 of Cups, and the Tower. So what we've been given, Ace of Pentacles, the unions that we've made, 10 of Cups, can really feel torn. Time can feel torn. Things can deplete, debts can build. I feel it's like the energy of interest as well. So watch out for debts, watch out for big expenditures, watch out also for running away from home, whatever that means to you. Running away from the past, running away from this person. It's hard to do that right now without replicating the energy somewhere else. And there are some situations where it's very necessary. Again, a small minority of people have to get away. They do. People whose like lives are at stake, or people who don't feel that it is possible to survive. But even they will, I feel, reap a consequence nonetheless for escaping. It's almost like you can't really get away from things right now. And I did not expect this energy to be that. I really did not. Like, when I did my original Jupiter and Scorpio video, I never caught on to this specific energy. I did catch on to the health thing. I didn't expect it to be what it was, though. And I didn't expect it to be this harsh. In a way, this is harsher than Saturn and Scorpio. It truly is. Because Saturn and Scorpio came with like a strength to take it all. I feel that the debris of Saturn and Scorpio was more difficult. I feel that the vehicles or the means of operation for Saturn and Scorpio were more difficult. So the sensory experiences, the relationships with people, the debris, basically. But this, to me, with Jupiter retrograde in Scorpio, is such a self-effacing energy, such an inward expansion of something so small, because our inner worlds are very small, very 8th house energy, and to put that in Jupiter, the most expansive, biggest thing, it just does not, it clashes. Those energies clash, and things can get very distorted, disoriented, displaced, undoubtedly. And you must learn how to breathe through it and try to not fall into escapism. Jupiter is the natural ruler of Pisces, and is connected to Neptune in that way. So retrograde Jupiter, not good to be a very escapist fantasy, because it can cost too much. So easy, again, to spend too much money or to spend too much energy. Protect yourself. I feel like it's a wonderful time to do like salt around your house, salt baths or whatever, but also they can only do so much if you're not calibrated. They can be wonderful accessories and really like take you home, like really take you the home stretch, but you have to be in a place yourself of semi-calibration for those to really help. I feel that it's a great time for obsidian, black tourmaline, those types of things, and What else am I feeling? Don't put all of your needs, wants into this one idea, into this one thing. Diversify yourself. Jupiter is all about many different options. So, for example, just as an abstract thing, if you like invest in the stock market right now or invest in anything in life, don't put all of your eggs in one basket. It takes a lot to do that. But anyway, everyone, I'm trying to think if I'm feeling anything else this video. I was only anticipating this to really be like a 5-minute video, but I'm really proud that the channeling came through in the way that it did. If you can, and I feel that this is most difficult for the people who haven't really known in the past 2 years where things were going or how things were adding up. So if you've had a game plan and a goal, you should be able to fall back on the stability of that and ride that through. But some people will definitely need to start from the ground up and understand, like, okay, this is the goal that I want. This is what I want to do. Because Jupiter deals with goals and aspirations and purposes, I was saying. So you'll really see what doesn't work for you during this time. So pay attention to that. What's not working? Is it the relationship? Is it the career? Is it the health? Build that up and you will very easily thrive for like the next 12 years easily. Through what you overcome and transform during this time, is it's very difficult to transform with retrograde Scorpio energy period, also Pluto retrograde. What you do transform right now will go a long way, but you won't have to need it, or you don't need to want to need it, something like that. Try to not get too attached to what you do change right now, but know that it's going to be very helpful, and try to rest, try to relax, try to not be scared of this, as I feel fear to probably be the biggest problem. Jupiter is a retrograde in Scorpio, to me feels like a very scared type of energy, like almost there, almost back to home base, almost back to finish line of Sagittarius, and then gets pulled back. It's like almost surviving, but just not quite getting there. Survive. It's not that hard. Jupiter, it expands this fear. It really doesn't have that much to do with the actual function of the body or actual life experience. That's the funny thing with Jupiter. It's really not about the meat and potatoes of anything. It's not a real type of energy. It's a very illusionary, not quite in the way that Neptune is, but it's a very illusionary type of energy that does not deal much with what is actually happening, but it has so much to do with some of the brain chemicals, some of the hormonal experiences, some of what your processing of luck or faith is, that those things can become so big. And so it's also spirituality as well, this type of thing, that it can outweigh everything, and you can start to think, oh my God, I'm dying, or oh my God, I'm having this experience, when it's not really that at all. So seek to understand truth and knowledge of what it actually is. And how's it treating you? Please comment below on this video. I might make another, like a part 2 to this if I start to understand more about the formula here. But comment below how it's been treating you. I would love to hear from all sides, like if you're doing wonderful during Jupiter retrograde, if it's been difficult, if it's not really been that noticeable. And I'm just wishing everyone love and light, and try to not take that from other people too. That's the other thing. Sometimes I feel as if a lot of my energy gets taken from this channel. Try to not take it like from me or from anybody else or from anyone else on YouTube or anyone else in your life. It's not a good time to take energy from other people, but yet I feel very compelled to still post this type of thing. So comment below how you're feeling. Like this video, share it with anyone who you might know, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Yeah, and I'm wishing everyone love and light. Let's get through this time. Let's get to July. Pull back as much as you can. Find out what really matters. Talk soon. Bye.